Peen and get our chops out of the oven. You brown your pork or veal chops on the stovetop, remembering to brown the edge as well. Let them finish cooking through in a nice hot oven. A moderate oven is fine, 375 or so. Grab my tongs here. Arrange your chops on your plate. I know, right? It's kind of, It's just, I agree with you. Like, you run out of words, you're like, oh, jeez, that just looks good. Hey, this guy goes this way. There we go. Drop this in the sink. Turn this guy off, turn this guy off. Now for your chops, take your pan drippings with the vermouth and the brown butter and the crushed garlic. Pour the brown butter, crushed garlic, vermouth down over the chops. Wait. Stop that, I'm not done. And then you take your crispy sage leaves and crush them all over the top, all over the chops. That's not too gorgeous. And then your gorgonzola walnut cream gnocchi. Oh. Wow. I'm still not done. And then your little bit of the celery greens, right? Brightens and lightens. And then Parmigiano Reggiano. Now I'm done. There. That might be what's for dinner tonight. Up next, we're back with my buddy Kyan Douglas after this.
I smoked a lot and quit a lot, but ended up nowhere. Now I use this.
The Nicoderm CQ patch with unique extended release technology helps prevent the urge to smoke all day.
I want this time to be my last time. That's why I choose Nicoderm CQ.
Real cheese people don't eat pasteurized, processed cheese food. It's only required to contain 51% real cheese. With Sargento natural cheese slices, you always get 100% real.
Sargento, we're real cheese people.
Yoplait Greek 100, the protein-packed, needs something filling, taste bud-loving, deliciously fruity. Grab and go, take on the world with 100 calories, snack. Yoplait Greek 100, there are hundreds of reasons to snack on it.
Shop great gifts for Dad at JCPenney's biggest Dad's Day sale. Get an extra $10 off when you spend $25 or more with coupon. Plus, save on thousands of doorbusters like men's golf apparel, watches, and suit separates. JCPenney. When it fits, you feel it.
Chances for rain will increase tomorrow. What does that mean for the Father's Day weekend?
Then the search continues. 9 people gunned down in their own church.
We are definitely working.
Now police are detailing who they are searching for. That's next on WPTV News Channel 5 at noon.
No dental insurance? Call now. Worried about high fees? Call now. Gentle Dental offers a discount program to make quality dentistry affordable for everyone. It's not dental insurance, it's better. Exam, x-rays, and dental cleanings are included. And save up to 65% off at all of our convenient locations. All this for a low annual fee that's less than most insurance plans. Call now and save with the VIP discount program. 855-VIP-GENTLE. Gentle Dental. All dentistry, one place.
Turn to the experts at Carrier and Cousins Air. Call Cousins Air for details today at 1-888-927-8003 or visit us at cousinsair.com and keep cool.
Time and temperature from TD Bank.
Kyan Douglas. Earlier in the show, we had Ted Allen start off the show with 4 secrets to improving all of your food in the kitchen. So 4 secret ingredients, I guess you could say. Kyan has a little last word for us. It's Kyan's turn to give us his secret ingredient. What is your secret ingredient for great hair?
I would say my secret ingredient for great hair would definitely have to be a great blow dryer.
I agree with you.
This one, it has 2 different settings for power and for heat. It's got, my favorite thing that it has is a cold blast button.
Me too, because it sets.
It sets your styling. This one, the handle folds, so it's perfect for small spaces traveling.
This is a T3, one of my favorite brands and companies, but it's so light.
It's actually called a featherweight compact. So it's designed to be a small blow dryer, but it gives a lot of power and a lot of air.
Just what you want that one to fall off a truck for your good friend Rach.
It's worth $150, and I was thinking that maybe like everyone in the audience should have it.
Kai's a great guy, right? For you guys watching at home that feel a little left out, don't worry. Head to RachelRayShow.com and you guys can have a chance to win one of these babies of your very own. Thank you so much to all of my guests today. It was a delight. Thank you guys for sharing time with us, and we'll see you when we see you.
Next at noon, caught. The latest after a church shooting suspect is caught in North Carolina.
Closer to home, the search for answers this midday after a shooting in Indian River County. We're back in just 30 seconds with local coverage you can count on.
There she is. Move in.
Don't be alarmed! They said it was approved, but it was only for that car.
Gross.
It's my credit.
Drive Time will approve you for every single car in the lot, and that's a lot. Are you ready in the back? We're going to do this right now. A lot on a lot, all ready to be bought, even if you got bad credit.
Save yourself. Get approved at Drive Time first. Call, click, or visit.
We begin this midday with breaking news. Reports that the gunman who's accused of opening fire inside a Charleston, South Carolina church last night, killing 9, is in police custody. 21-year-old Dylan Roof was captured in Shelby, North Carolina.
Shelby's about 3.5 hours from Charleston. Authorities are calling the shooting a hate crime. While police have not released the identities of the victims in this mass shooting, we do know 6 are women, 3 were men that were killed inside Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston.
That's right. We have been following this breaking news story for you all morning long. We are awaiting the president to address the nation, talking about this tragedy. You're taking a look right there. He is expected to be at that podium within minutes. When we do see him go to the podium, we will go to him live.
Meanwhile, we do know one of the victims is the church's pastor, Reverend Clementa Pinckney, a South Carolina state senator as well. A flower now sitting atop a black cloth covering the desk of the state senator. Jeb Bush counseling all planned campaign events in Charleston for today. A spokeswoman for the Republican presidential candidate confirming the decision was made following this deadly church shooting. She went on to say Governor Bush's thoughts and prayers are with all of those affected.
An update this afternoon on a shooting in Indian River County. Sheriff's deputies are still trying to find the gunman. The victim was shot at least twice and ended up being transferred to Lawnwood Regional Medical Center in Fort Pierce. That's about all we know about the victim at this point. You're taking a look at exclusive Chopper 5 video over the scene that happened earlier this morning on 45th Street around 34th Avenue.
Lightening things up a little bit this midday. Chicago still on cloud 9, still celebrating the Blackhawks Stanley Cup win. A huge turnout for a city parade, and then the team met with fans during a free rally. The Blackhawks are building somewhat of a hockey dynasty after beating Tampa Bay Tuesday night. This is the Hawks' 3rd Stanley Cup in 6 years.
Take a look at this. Dozens of sharks spotted by Chopper 5 swimming close to the shore near Stewart. Chopper 5 capturing these images at about 10 this morning. This following several days of shark sightings along the Treasure Coast. Lifeguards have been having to close the beach several times this week because of those shark sightings. So the question is it a good beach day? Would you want to even get in the water maybe?
I'll tell you what, it's hot though, Glenn. I mean, it is hot.
It is hot. The heat index is getting close to 100 degrees in some parts of our area. Lots of sunshine today. Probably a better day to go swimming in the ocean than if it was real murky, because then sharks have a hard time seeing you. And sometimes that makes things pretty tricky. But take a look outside downtown West Palm Beach on our Live 5 camera, and a gorgeous view, lots of blue skies. We do have a little bit of rain to tell you about, some way out here over the Atlantic, but that sea breeze starting to push inland now, so we've got a few showers that have developed just to the southeast of Indiantown now and out to the west of the Turnpike and I-95. Got a little tiny shower that just popped up right here just to the southeast of Tradition. We'll talk about our chances for rain through the Father's Day weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Tropical Depression Bill barely showing mercy to the Midwest. The area is already soaked and bracing for more rain, worse flooding. Forecasters are expecting anywhere from 3 to 8 inches from Oklahoma to Illinois by the end of the week. In southern Oklahoma, police continue their search for a 2-year-old who was swept away yesterday by that flooding. Right now, people across a wide area of Oklahoma, as we mentioned, are dealing with heavy rain and the consequences. Take a look at this. This is a major rock slide along a pretty busy highway in that area. This is actually I-35 near Davis, Oklahoma. Officials do not know how long traffic could be affected.
Jury deliberations continue today for a Palm Beach Gardens man charged with killing a cross-dresser. Prosecutors say Luis de los Santos targeted Tyrell Jackson and his 2 friends back in 2012, specifically because they were dressed as women. Santos tells a different side of the story. He says he shot the group because they attacked him. If convicted, he could get the death penalty.
The new superintendent of Palm Beach County Schools is hosting a second parent forum. This is this evening at 6 o'clock at Boca Raton High School. Dr. Robert Avosa, you see him there. He was officially sworn in yesterday. Tonight's meeting is part of several across the county. We do have a full list of those dates and times on WPTV.com. Representatives for presidential candidate Marco Rubio are in Stewart meeting with local leaders, scientists, and representatives from the Army Corps of Engineers. They're talking about the toxic water situation on the Treasure Coast at Indian River State College.
If you shop Worth Avenue, parking could soon be easier. More on-street parking spaces will open if town council agrees to let property owners lease their unused garage spaces. This week, the Planning and Zoning Commission proposed allowing owners of garages at Neiman Marcus and 150 Worth to lease their empty spots to other businesses on the street. Commissioners, they have already approved this proposal.
New at noon, Cuba says it is expanding internet access and making it cheaper. The Cuban government announcing today it will add a Wi-Fi capacity to dozens of state-run internet centers and cut the cost by more than half. So instead of $4.50 for 1 hour of computer time, it would cost $2. Cheaper, but still unaffordable for many Cubans. Home internet remains illegal for most of the population there. President Obama made this request to expand internet access as the two countries move to restore diplomatic relations.
Melanie, speaking of President Obama, we are awaiting him to approach that podium and address the nation about that Charleston church shooting last night that killed 9. The suspect has been caught apparently in North Carolina.
Expecting him momentarily. As soon as we do, we will listen in. In the meantime, we're also going to be talking about this. How much are you spending on your daily commute? You may not think it's much. After all, most people work fairly close to home, so you'll probably be surprised when we do the math. Time is money.
And will he or won't he stay on? We're getting a sneak peek at what the future may hold for Brian Williams and NBC News. It's all when we come back in just 60 seconds with more local coverage.
And your new dentures will be ready in a few weeks.
A few weeks? How am I going to eat?
With this.
I am not doing that.
Okay, let's try something new.
And your dentures will be ready Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
At Aspen Dental, we're not just fixing teeth, we're fixing dentistry with dentures in days, not weeks. Just call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL.
Bad weather hits. Trust Storm Team 5 for complete weather coverage where you live. Storm Shield, alerting you to severe weather when you want to know before, during, and after the storm. Storm Team 5 Weather Alert Days on WPTV News Channel 5.
Let's get you caught up on breaking news right now as we are taking live video from Washington, D.C. We're waiting for President Obama to step into the press conference right here any minute to talk a little bit about this church shooting that happened last night in South Carolina.
The suspect, 21-year-old Dylan Roof, has been arrested in North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte, some 3 hours, 45 minutes from Charleston, South Carolina. That's where he's suspected of shooting and killing 9 people inside a Charleston church last night at a Bible study. Again, we'll go to President Obama as soon as he steps to the podium. Moving on, you worry about the safety of your child's car seat, but should you be more concerned with your car? For the first time, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety rated child car seat attachment hardware in cars. Out of more than 100 cars, only 3 earned the top rating of good. Researchers say the problem is often not with the child seat itself or how you are buckling them in, but how the car manufacturer has designed the interior. The best 3 vehicles, look at this, it's the BMW 5 Series, Mercedes-Benz GL Class, and Volkswagen Passat. But more popular family cars like the Accord, Ford Escape, Nissan Altima, even the Toyota Sienna minivan earning medium or poor ratings.
You've heard the saying, time is money. Turns out, yeah, you're spending more of it sitting behind the wheel. According to a new study by Citibank, the average American spends 45 minutes traveling to and from work each day. Now, roll that number into kind of math. Yeah, and ready for this, your commute. It costs an average of $12 a day, or if you want to look at it, $2,600 a year. A large part of that cost is gas. We can help you find the cheapest gas along your commute. Just head on over to our WPTV app, click on traffic.
Trending this afternoon, an official announcement of the future of Brian Williams at NBC is expected today. According to the Wall Street Journal, Williams will stay with the network, but not returning to the anchor chair on nightly news. Lester Holt will be named the permanent anchor. The decision comes months after the network pulled him from nightly after exaggerations about the Iraq War came to light. Melissa Rivers is following in her late mother's footsteps. The outspoken daughter of Joan Rivers will be making her own opinions and making her opinions known. She's replacing Joan as the host of E's Fashion Police. Big hit show. The 47-year-old will join Juliana Rancic, also Brad Goreski on the panel, in addition to continuing in her role as executive producer. All right, again, we are awaiting President Obama to step to the podium addressing the nation for that Charleston church shooting last night. The suspect caught in North Carolina this morning. We will be joining that live when the president does come to that room.
We also want you to stick around for this because it's the hottest new sport, obstacle course racing. Have you heard of it? Still ahead, a look at what's driving a weekend warrior to dive into the mud and scale new peaks.
Plus a tasty treat that's easy to make with the things you already have in your home. It's that easy, Glenn.
You don't know what I have in my home. I probably have that stuff. All right, a quick look at the Boca Beach cam, and lots of folks taking advantage of a gorgeous beach day. But will it stay this nice through the Father's Day weekend? We'll talk all about it coming up.
It's early morning, and you're up early because, well, the house is already stirring.
I have 4 kids. We're busy. I have to know when severe weather is coming.
WPTV Storm Team 5, only in one neighborhood that matters, yours.
Lisa and Glenn, they can be fun, but they really crack down when big things are happening.
Preparing, alerting, showing the storm from every angle, making sure weather doesn't get in your way. Storm Team 5, the only morning weather team. Today on 5, WPTV News Channel 5.
Hello, Jupiter Tequesta. I need some help with my air conditioning.
Quick, efficient home repair is reason to celebrate.
Do you have loose or missing teeth? Do you cover your mouth when you laugh? Appearance Implants of Jupiter can give you the smile you've always wanted. Call now to schedule your free implant consultation. We have helped thousands of people like you feel confident and secure. And with fees this low, you'll have lots to smile about. Why wait any longer to have the smile you've always wanted? Call now to schedule your free implant consultation. Appearance Implants of Jupiter. Quality dentistry at affordable prices.
It's the BrandsMart USA huge Father's Day sale. Get Dad a Google Chromecast for only $29. How about a Sony 60-inch smart LED TV with Wi-Fi for just $798? This Samsung stainless platinum French door refrigerator is only $849.88. A Norelco Aquatech electric razor is just $59.95 after rebates. Hurry in. It's the BrandsMart USA huge Father's Day sale.
Skin cancer affects 1 in 5 Americans of all ages. Only a highly trained health professional can detect skin cancer. And early detection can mean the difference between life and death. Call today and make an appointment for a skin cancer screening at Water's Edge Dermatology, one of America's leading dermatology practices. Remember, early detection can save your life. It saved mine. There's a Water's Edge office near you, so call today.
Hello, Jupiter Tequesta? I need some help with my electrical.
Quick, efficient home repair is reason to celebrate.
Closed captioning on WPTV is sponsored by Bethesda Health.
Breaking news right now as we wait for President Obama to come and join this news conference to talk a little bit about that deadly church shooting in South Carolina this morning. The police chief of South Carolina starting the day off talking about his department's determination to catch the man responsible for 9 deaths. And it seems perhaps they do have this young man right here in custody.
In fact, in Shelby, North Carolina, it was a traffic stop where they noticed the car after that be on the lookout alert was issued late last night. 21-year-old Dylan Roof in custody right now. Again, we are awaiting President Obama to address the nation after this mass church shooting. Moving on at 12:13, happening today, the U.S. Supreme Court could rule on several high-profile cases today. 17 decisions remain to be handed down by the Supreme Court this term. Among them, a decision on extending subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. Congressional Republicans now say that they will move to temporarily continue aid if the subsidies are overturned. Supreme Court judges could also vote on whether to legalize same-sex marriage nationwide. The Pope today declaring a climate change tragedy and that the world is failing to respond. In an open letter, Pope Francis says the planet is being mistreated and abused, that companies are destroying the earth trying to chase a dollar, but he believes it can still be saved. The Pope has said he wants it to be part of a debate at a major UN summit on climate change a little later this year.
A developing story this midday. Investigators are widening their search for 2 fugitives who escaped from a maximum security prison in upstate New York. The manhunt now in its 13th day. Authorities are following more than 1,400 leads at this point. Officials do hope that age progression mugshots will lead them to Richard Matt and David Sweat. Prison employee Joyce Mitchell is accused of helping the 2 break out. She has pleaded not guilty to charges related to their escape. Hundreds of people gathered in Berkeley, California last night to remember the 6 young people killed when a balcony collapsed 2 days ago. Mourners prayed and lit candles for those victims who were attending a 21st birthday party. Those at the vigil also sending their love to the 7 still recovering in the hospital. Most of the victims are from Ireland in the U.S. on summer work visas. A forest fire that's forced visitors to clear out of several Southern California campgrounds has grown to 1,000 acres. Firefighters are using helicopters to drop water on the flames, which are in a remote part of the San Bernardino Mountains. The fire is only 5% contained. Nearly 200 campers, mostly kids, evacuated when the fire was reported yesterday about 90 miles east of Los Angeles.
New this noon, it is one of the fastest growing sports in the country. Obstacle course racing. Weekend warriors everywhere escaping their cubicles to get dirty. Carl Quintanilla explores this phenomenon.
The extreme sports lifestyle has brought some 1,400 fitness fanatics together. Their destination, a Spartan obstacle race in the Bahamas.
Spartans, prepare for glory!
3 miles and 16 obstacles long, the course is a test of endurance and strength.
Kiss the ground with it.
This is your weekend 5K in the extreme.
Grab that rope!
Today we have everything, certainly in America, that we need. I don't think we find enjoyment with everything being so easy.
Spartan is the brainchild of Joe DeSena, a former Wall Street trader who organized his first race in 2010. Your point is, if you're struggling on a wall on a course, the next time you have a minor headache, like your coffee's too cold, it's not going to matter as much.
No, we call it obstacle immunity. Take a cold shower, do 300 burpees in the morning, crawl under some barbed wire, go over a wall, and you will stop complaining about the ridiculous things we complain about.
You make it sound like we've become a nation of wussies.
I think we are.
Yeah. No wusses allowed in this race, which demands swimming, crawling, climbing, and hoisting. This year, some 450,000 people will sign up for one of Spartan's 70-plus events. Carl Quintanilla, NBC News.
Now, Storm Team 5 with South Florida's most accurate weather forecast.
Man, that's no big deal. Mike and Holiday and I did that before the noon show today. I mean, that was like, you know, we look better now. Here's what we're looking at right now, the Sebastian Inlet camera, and look at all those people out there hanging out in the water, enjoying a nice day. Boy, it'd be nice to be in the water today. Awfully hot. In fact, take a look at Live Viper 5 Max. I'll show you some of the temperatures across our area this afternoon. 89 in West Palm right now, 89 Boynton Beach, 88 in Boca, 90 in Okeechobee and in Belle Glade, 89 Vero Beach, 88 Port St. Lucie, and with the humidity, feeling like it's in the mid-90s. And by the time we get to 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon, it'll feel more like it's closer to 100 degrees. A quick look at the radar. We had a little shower just south of Tradition. That has dissipated now. We do have some heavier rainfall just to the southeast of Indiantown and to the west of Jonathan Dixon State Park here and moving inland. And much like the past couple of days, we've got that easterly flow in place. So everything is going to push inland toward Lake Okeechobee with a few thunderstorms bubbling up here over the next couple of hours. And then everything will push over toward the west coast of Florida, leaving us high and dry for the afternoon rush. And as you take a look out to the west here, you'll see some showers out in the Gulf of Mexico and a few more over here by the Bahamas. But for us, pretty good sunny weather, although we could use some rainfall. We are well below average for this time of year for rainfall. And here's a look at the Vipercast, 2 o'clock this afternoon. See a few more showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two a little farther inland. 4:30 this afternoon, you notice rainfall around here really starts to clear out. So does the cloud cover. Look along the coast here. Lots of sunshine. And then as we move into the evening hours, well, chances for rain over toward the west coast. Now, overnight tonight, could see a shower or two along the coast. Rain chances actually go up just a tiny bit tomorrow. We've got about a 20% chance for rain today and about a 30% chance tomorrow, then a 20% chance Saturday, Sunday, and until Monday as well. Good looking Father's Day weekend, actually. Our afternoon high temperatures, we're pretty close to them right now, but it's really the way it feels. Again, feeling closer to 100 degrees than the actual temperature. Tomorrow, highs around 90. Lots of humidity around, so still feeling much hotter than the actual temperatures. As we get into the Father's Day weekend, things looking good. Lots of sunshine for Dad both days, but make sure Dad stays cool. Again, the heat index will be close to 100 degrees both Saturday and Sunday, and just about a 20% chance for isolated rainfall.
As we continue to follow breaking news right now out of Charleston, South Carolina, getting word that the president is supposed to be stepping into this briefing any moment now and giving his words of wisdom, also just paying respect to the victims of this deadly church shooting out of Charleston. 9 people dead, 6 of those women and 3 men. Learning a little bit more about the 21-year-old gunman. There he is, who was arrested, taken into custody earlier. And Mike, I know you've also been digging into some details there.
Yeah, he was stopped at a traffic stop. That's how he was caught in Shelby, North Carolina. To put that in perspective, it's 244 miles from Charleston, South Carolina, where he shot and killed, allegedly, according to police, shot and killed 9 people inside a church at a Bible study last night. This is one picture of him. They also had a very good picture from a piece of surveillance video outside of that church, and they also had the car description. As we take a look at the video of the scene last night, this church, historically, it is the oldest of its kind in the South. This church goes all the way back to its origins in 1816.
One detail that's come out today, too, you mentioned there was a Bible study going on. Actually, here's the president.
Let's listen in.
We'll listen in.
Good afternoon. Not know the circumstances under which he was taken into custody.
The president.
I spoke with, and Vice President Biden spoke with Mayor Joe Riley and other leaders at Charleston to express our deep sorrow over the senseless murders that took place last night. Michelle and I know several members of Emmanuel AME Church. We knew their pastor, Reverend Clementa Pinckney, who, along with 8 others, gathered in prayer and fellowship and was murdered last night. And to say our thoughts and prayers are with them and their families and their community doesn't say enough to convey the heartache and the sadness and the anger that we feel. Any death of this sort is a tragedy. Any shooting involving multiple victims is a tragedy. There is something particularly heartbreaking about a death happening in a place in which we seek solace and we seek peace, in a place of worship. And Mother Emanuel is, in fact, more than a church. This is a place of worship that was founded by African Americans seeking liberty. This is a church that was burned to the ground because its worshipers worked to end slavery. When there were laws banning all black church gatherings, they conducted services in secret. When there was a nonviolent movement to bring our country closer in line with our highest ideals, some of our brightest leaders spoke and led marches from this church's steps. This is a sacred place in the history of Charleston and in the history of America. The FBI is now on the scene with local police, and more of the Bureau's best are on the way to join them. The Attorney General has announced plans for the FBI to open a hate crime investigation. We understand that the suspect is in custody, and I'll let the best of law enforcement do its work to make sure that justice is served. Until the investigation is complete, I'm necessarily constrained in terms of talking about the details of the case. But I don't need to be constrained about the emotions that tragedies like this raise. I've had to make statements like this too many times. Communities like this have had to endure tragedies like this too many times. We don't have all the facts, but we do know that, once again, innocent people were killed in part because someone who wanted to inflict harm had no trouble getting their hands on a gun. Now is the time for mourning and for healing. But let's be clear. At some point, we as a country will have to reckon with the fact that this type of mass violence does not happen in other advanced countries. It doesn't happen in other places with this kind of frequency. And it is in our power to do something about it. I say that recognizing the politics in this town foreclose a lot of those avenues right now. But it'd be wrong for us not to acknowledge it. And at some point, it's going to be important for the American people to come to grips with it. And for us to be able to shift how we think about the issue of gun violence collectively. The fact that this took place in a black church obviously also raises questions about a dark part of our history. This is not the first time that black churches have been attacked. And we know that hatred across races and faiths pose a particular threat to our democracy and our ideals. The good news is I am confident that the outpouring of unity and strength and fellowship and love across Charleston today, from all races, from all faiths, from all places of worship indicates the degree to which those old vestiges of hatred can be overcome. That certainly was Dr. King's hope just over 50 years ago, after 4 little girls were killed in a bombing in a black church in Birmingham, Alabama. He said they lived meaningful lives and they died nobly. They say to each of us, Dr. King said, black and white alike, that we must substitute courage for caution. They say to us that we must be concerned not merely with who murdered them, but about the system, the way of life, the philosophy which produced the murderers. Their death says to us that we must work passionately and unrelentingly for the realization of the American dream. And if one will hold on, he will discover that God walks with him and that God is able to lift you from the fatigue of despair to the buoyancy of hope and transform dark and desolate valleys into sunlit paths of inner peace. Reverend Pinckney and his congregation understood that spirit. Their Christian faith compelled them to reach out not just to members of their congregation or to members of their own communities, but to all in need. They opened their doors to strangers who might enter a church in search of healing or redemption. Mother Emanuel Church and its congregation have risen before, from flames, from an earthquake, from other dark times, to give hope to generations of Charlestonians. And with our prayers and our love and the buoyancy of hope, it will rise again now as a place of peace. Thank you.
Fred, what would you do differently on gun control?
A very emotional president talking about the loss of somebody he knew in the Reverend from the Emanuel AME Church down there in Charleston, but also a very frustrated President Obama, noting that he had made statements like this on mass violence too many times. My old colleague at the White House, Mark Knoller, actually says it's 14 separate occasions that we've heard from the president during his tenure at the White House on some sort of mass shooting. President talking about the ease with which a gun was able to be used here, and then he also talked about the fact that there clearly was race playing a role in this. Let's go over to my colleague, Kristen Welker at the White House. Kristen, that was a different President Obama than I've seen in other of these statements. Yes, it was emotional, but there was this sort of edge to him of frustration.
A frustration and anger, Chuck, that we heard from President Obama. He did speak, as you say, in deeply personal terms, talked about the fact that he and the First Lady know many members of the AME Church, including Reverend Pinckney, who was, of course, killed. But he also spoke about the need for the nation to shift its thinking when it comes to gun violence. You will recall that back in 2012, in the aftermath of the Sandy Hook shooting, he pressed for stiffer gun laws. That never came to pass. This is really the first time that we've heard him revisit that type of language. Also significant that he was joined by the vice president, who recently suffered his own personal tragedy and who led the fight for new gun laws. Chuck?
All right, Kristen Welker, thanks very much. Of course, we're going to have a lot more on what's going on in Charleston. We'll be on the scene in Charleston all over this story. Stay tuned for the NBC Nightly News at 6:30 tonight on your local NBC stations.
I'm Bill Bellamy, and we have 4 amazing people from all across the country. They're on their webcams trying to win up to $35,000. So let's meet them. From Thousand Oaks, California, it's Lissa. From Flagstaff, Arizona, it's Matt. From Dallas, Texas, it's Chanda. From Philadelphia, PA, it's Hope. Go Hope. Go Hope. Welcome, everybody. We asked America their opinions on a bunch of fun topics. All you have to do is guess what America said, and you win the big money. If you're ready to have some fun, say yeah. Yeah. All right, let's get this party started. The first question is worth $100 and has two possible answers. The answers are Beauty the Beast. And the question is, how would husbands in their 40s describe